Unfortunately, the chairman's schedule suffered a last-minute change that prevented him from making the trip to Paris, so instead he will be joining us remotely. And there he is. I think we'll be connecting to him very, very shortly. Welcome, Mr. Chairman. Thank you so much for joining us. We are delighted that you were still able to join us. Olivier, over to you now.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. Good evening, Chairman. It's a pleasure and it's an honor to have you with us through the video. I hope the video is working. Yes, the video is working. Thank you very much, Chairman. You are the chairman of the biggest financial institution in India, more than 500 million clients, close to 300,000 employees, 22,000 branches. It's just amazing. Over the next 20 minutes, we will talk about India as a fantastic growth story. We'll talk about SBI, of course, and the role of SBI in this growth story. And at the end of the discussion, we'll talk about India as an investment destination. So, just to start, Chairman, the growth story, the fantastic growth story of India, I mean, is known now all over the world. India is one of the fastest growing economy in the world. In your opinion, what are the key drivers of this fantastic growth, over the past decade? And the big question, is it sustainable?
Thank you, Olivier, and also thanks to Amundi for giving me this opportunity. I wish that I could be there physically, but there were other engagements. I couldn't make it, but I still wanted to be present, even virtually, to share a few thoughts. Yes, I think there are several key factors which makes India the fastest growing economy today. Some of them are structural, some of them are, reform oriented, some of them are natural advantages. So let me start with a couple of natural advantages in the sense that India is the wide population base is one of the important element, and this wide population base has a low base to start with. That means the per capita income of individuals in the country is still low, which means that this base, low base and wide population base, gives you an opportunity for a sustained growth. And what has driven Indian growth story is essentially the domestic consumption and domestic investment. And the domestic investment is coming from investment in infrastructure, investment in healthcare, investment in education. So coupled with all this, and there are some structural reforms. In the last decade, there have been formalization of the economy with VAT, nationwide VAT being introduced, that has led to a lot of informal entities to come into the formal fold. This has got twofold effect. One is it has increased the tax income, tax compliance, and number two is that the formalization helped people, the units, to digitize their operation. So digital public infrastructure, you must have been familiar with UPI and many other initiatives of the government of India that had helped the formal economy to emerge stronger. And the government of India is also investing in healthcare, skilling of people. So to your question in terms of sustainability, the way the government of India is working to ensure that the demographic dividend is not lost by ensuring that the population is skilled properly, particularly youth, and also the healthcare and education are taken care of. So these are broadly my view, and which gives me confidence that the growth rates are sustainable, both on account of the sustained domestic consumption and the demographic dividend backed by skilling and healthcare.
Thank you, Chairman. This is very clear. You mentioned this topic about inclusive development. I think that's one of the key questions. Inclusive development for the young generation, but also the emerging middle class. How do you think it translates, for this population?
So when we talk about inclusive development in India, I think the developmental goals are pursued by the government of India in a manner that nobody is left behind. I will give one example. Today, the banking penetration in India is almost 95%. That means 95% of the adult population has a bank account here. And the banks like us played a very significant role to ensure that this kind of financial inclusion happens. The direct benefit transfer today, whatever the small amount of support what the government of India gives to individuals is all administered through the bank account, so that there is no leakage of any of these benefits which are given to the public. And it also ensures that small businesses, micro enterprises, small and medium enterprises are supported fully. One example I can give you that the government runs one of the largest credit guarantee program for medium and small enterprises, micro units, so that the banks are able to lend to them without asking for collateral. And this guarantee scheme is one of the most popular way of supporting the MSMEs. So these are all many activities in terms of bank accounts, in terms of micro insurance, in terms of government guarantee backed loans. These are all helping us in terms of ensuring that the development is inclusive.
Thank you very much. Well, it makes, I think, the right transition to the next topic, which is, as I mentioned, SBI, State Bank of India, is the biggest financial institution in India. And how do you see, today and tomorrow, the role of State Bank of India in this fantastic growth story, and particularly through, let's say, financial inclusion, democratization of investing? How do you see the role of the bank in this environment?
So State Bank of India is not only the largest bank, it is also the most trusted brand in India. And with a history of almost 220 years. So which means that whatever SBI does, it is widely accepted by the general public. One area which I mentioned is about financial inclusion. Out of our 520 million customers, which you mentioned, Olivier, right in your beginning remarks, we have about 150 million customers who have opened the bank account first time in their life. They came to the banking sector first time in their life, 150 million of them. And these are all small individuals, and these accounts are opened with zero balance. They don't have to maintain any balance in the account. But today, we have helped them to inculcate the habit of savings in them. 99.5% of this zero balance account, which were opened with zero balance, today are funded with a reasonable balance. That means, the habit of saving has been promoted through the financial inclusion accounts. That is one. The other one is the rural area, banking rural area. We have a franchise network. While we have more than 22,000 branches, almost 23,000 branches, we also have a support of 75,000 business correspondents who are our franchises. They provide the last mile banking services, saving habits, micro insurance to millions of customers across the country. UPI, again, I mentioned, how it is democratizing the whole payment system in India and the digital adoption, which with almost 30% market share, State Bank of India is the market leader in the digital payment ecosystem. So the part of digital economy is driven by SBI. SBI is also playing an important role in the ESG initiative of the government of India. we have a climate finance division separately, which takes care of the transition risk and transition financing opportunities. So I think our investment in technology, investment in people has really helped us to be part of this inclusion story. To your question in terms of democratizing the investments.
Yes, thank you.
So, of course, our State Bank SBI Mutual Fund, a partnership between SBI and Amundi, is a classical example how State Bank of India has been able to deliver a wonderful financial service to this country. Today, SBI Mutual Fund is not only the largest AIMS in the country, it is also helping millions of people to come into the saving and investment habit. We have launched recently small SIP. I mean, many of your audience may not really believe this. We have launched a small SIP for very small income group. The SIP size is 250 rupees, which is equivalent to 2.6 euros, just less than 3 euros. That is the smallest SIP probably in the world. Where,
it is.
Where the unorganized labor, because of the digital penetration in the country, it is completely a digital product. It is an app-based, and SBI Mutual Fund works with SBI and also other digital mutual fund partners to mobilize this savings, and also in the process, investment itself is democratized. And thousands of people have already opened these accounts and they started saving. And we would like to make it a moment across the country that this small SIP becomes one of the stepping stone for them to be part of the investment story of India. This is the role which SBI is playing in the democratizing the investment.
Thank you, Chairman. And you rightly mentioned the power of the brand. As you know, Chairman, I'm visiting India very often, and I'm always very impressed by the power of the brand. And I mean, people trust this brand. It's absolutely incredible. The value of this is incredible. Now, maybe let's talk about India as an investment destination, because a lot of people in this room are investors, CIOs, and we see more and more appetite regarding India as an investment destination. So maybe a question regarding how do you see that India has improved in the past or recently, say, access and ease of doing business for international investors in its capital market. What do you think are the key points that have been developed, or the key let's say topics that have been raised, and also in terms of information, in terms of, let's say, transparency, there are many things happening.
No, very good question, Olivier. I think very relevant for the investors who are present there, and I would like to convey to all of them that primarily one message, that is, India is a long-term growth story. And I think there are a lot of people across the world. I myself go and interact with many investors who have invested in State Bank of India, who intends to invest in SBI. And my experience and my feedback from the investors is that they all believe in the long-term growth story of India. And that is evident by the fact that India is the only, silver lining in the overall global economy. While the global economy is expected to grow at 2.6%, India is expecting to grow at 6.5%, while India's aspiration is much larger. Maybe as 8% growth rate is something what India is looking for. So I think one of the major areas Indian government and state governments across the country have been trying to do is, how do we give the environment of ease of doing business, whether it is a regulatory framework or it is encouraging the manufacturing activities. But from an investor's point of view, I would like to say a few things. One is, of course, in the debt capital market, for example, a lot of interest in the Indian bond market. Last year, the government bonds have been included part of the JP Morgan bond index, and we expect around $20-30 billion to come in, and a lot of flows are already there. And this is under the fully accessible route and also the voluntary retention route. This will help the investors to invest and also exit. I think there are a lot of liquidity which is provided there. These are basically passive inflows which are coming in. As you know, the index inclusion has helped the bond to attract investors. On the market infrastructure, what I notice is that while there is a lot of debate on settlement process, I think SEBI has taken a measure, that is Securities and Exchange Board of India, as the regulator for securities in India, has introduced T+1 settlement. While the talk about T+0 settlement is still going on, the T+1 settlement has provided, one is reduce the counterparty risk and has increased the liquidity and availability of liquidity. I think T+1 settlement, India probably is one of the very few countries which has got this settlement mechanism. For overseas investors, one of the pain points, both overseas investors as well as domestic investors, has been the Know Your Customer guidelines, that is KYC guidelines. And India is working towards a unified KYC. Today we have KYC for bank accounts, KYC for mutual funds, and KYC for insurance separately. We're all moving towards unified KYC. In my view, this will further strengthen the investment pattern and the ease of investing for the individuals, further spurring overall investment environment. And the government of India is also trying to ensure that tax and policy certainty, in the sense that not frequent changes on the tax rules, and finality of the tax rules is something what they're seriously working on. So there are several things I can go on and on, but because of the time paucity, I would like to state that there's a good environment to invest in India, and I definitely request all your investors to look at India seriously.
Chairman, maybe one word on Gift City, because I think this is something that is very important in this, an environment regarding India as an investment destination.
Sorry, I didn't get you, Olivier.
My question was about Gift City, which is a very, very important
Good thing you reminded. I think Gift City is, in my view, Gift City is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for many people who are looking at India, and also for the Indian corporates themselves. Today, the biggest advantage of Gift City is that it's a unified regulator. Unlike in the domestic tariff area, the International Financial Services Center, what is popularly known as Gift City, provides a unified regulator. That means, across the financial services, there is only one single regulator to deal with. I think that's the biggest advantage. Another thing what Gift City provides is the tax incentives. I think a lot of MNC companies as well as MNC financial institutions are setting shop in Gift City so that they can take advantage of both the corporate income tax as well as the withholding tax many of the foreign banks actually charge to the corporates. I think I see that a lot of financial services companies, including asset management companies, custodial service companies, insurance companies, they're all setting up their entities there in Gift City. I think that would be it would be a gateway for cross-border investment for India. Good that you have reminded. I think everyone of you may even give further inputs. You know about Gift City better than many people there.
Thank you, Chairman. I think if you are interested in Gift City, of course, this afternoon or tonight or tomorrow, I'm available. So, ladies and gentlemen, you can come to me and I would be happy to share some views on Gift City. Chairman, thank you so much for your thoughtful insight, your vision for India, your vision about SBI. I mean, they are a compelling one. This is really great to hear you on this, and I think also the steps that was achieved regarding India now as an investment destination. I think we see that things are moving very fast. I think I would like to thank you again. We are very grateful of your time. I hope next year you will be with us physically, and we will be able to have this discussion with you, in the forum. Thank you again for your message.
Yes, thank you very much, Chairman. Thank you for joining us today. Well, clearly, Olivier, the Asian tiger is confidently roaring. Thank you so much for moderating this conversation. Olivier Mariée, ladies and gentlemen.